So for my activity, I drew in a more cartoony and less conventional style than what I've generally come to use whenever I've more recently been drawing in my sketchbooks. It's more similar to how I drew in my childhood leading up to my adolescence. And at first, it made me somewhat uncomfortable to use certain techniques that I hadn't utilized in a long time, very basic techniques in my art. However, as I got more into the drawing process, those feelings went away and I kind of got stuck in the zone, just letting my pencil move and just focusing on the paper, only really stopping to take the photos of my progress along the way. As I neared the end, however, I realized I had started to fall back more on more recently learned techniques to add an extra layer of detail to the drawing that I definitely would not have utilized when I was younger. I couldn't bring myself to stop until I had finished that extra level too, as I felt like the piece was incomplete without it. So this was the big question that I was thinking about when reflecting after the fact. So to start out, schema is how me and many other people start drawing, recognizing early patterns and then being able to replicate them on a piece of paper. And very early on, I was artistically encouraged to pursue my desire to draw and paint and express myself through those mediums. Art as a schema that I learned very on was a way to translate my inner thoughts and ideas and concepts into concrete depictions of those things. So as I got to elementary school and then later even middle school, I began to assimilate further drawing techniques into my mind. Because while the schema for art was already developed, learning more about things like underdrawing, shading, composition really helped me synthesize everything and all those techniques into what I would call my first artistic personal style, how I chose to represent my art. I also began accommodating new ideas related to my art. Although I perfectly knew what I was drawing, I started to understand that not everybody could immediately pick up on what I was trying to depict. And this is where we can kind of see the concept of egocentrism kind of fading away out of my mind as I began to realize that not everybody shares the exact same thoughts and processes as me. Everybody is a unique individual with their own experiences and their own interpretations of things. So as I kind of, grew into the theory of mind, of being able to understand that everybody has unique individual thoughts separate from each other. I began to use these more detailed techniques in order to make sure that people could fully interpret and understand the pieces that I drew. And so I think my desire to continue to add detail to this drawing was that even as I was trying to replicate more basic drawings from my early childhood, it shows that I've kind of grown out of that child egocentrism, and I still have a very firm grasp on the nature of people having multiple different unique experiences. And I want to subconsciously, I think, accommodate for that so that the vast majority of people can look at something I draw and immediately be able to kind of come to the relatively same conclusion of what it is I'm trying to depict. And I think that's just something that is kind of subconsciously ingrained into you through the process of the death of the childhood egocentrism. Thank you.